Wichita food and booze behind the scenes. This is going to be a fun one. But before we get into all that, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Really helps grow the channel and promote local Wichita events and things like the Wichita food and booze community that I'm getting ready to show you. So if you're not familiar with what this is, it's a Facebook group I built during COVID. It's got 160,000 members in there right now. And right now I'm going to break down the behind the scenes, kind of show you some of the chaos behind here and the views and just kind of some of the backside insights so you can kind of see what I do, the moderators do, and just what's going on. But to give you a little backstory on this group, how it started, like I said, it was Wichita Food to Go during COVID. And I really was just starting it as an idea to get information out about how the restaurants around, food and booze and all that were operating during COVID, just to disseminate that information, to get it out to people, to let them know how these restaurants were operating in that time so that we could stay supporting these local restaurants because they're a big piece of our culture. They're a big piece of our community. We consistently hit them up to donate to things in our community, participate, things like that. And at that time being, they were having a hard time staying afloat, shifting, adapting. And so most people were sitting at home, not really sure what to do. And this was a way that we could contribute and help these local small restaurants that make our city cool and unique do well. I never set out to be a foodie. I'm no foodie. I'll leave that to Fert and Eddie with Wichita EB and Wichitaco and Kansas Gastronomist and all those guys. That's their thing. That's their passion. I love what they do. The amount of production and effort and unique skills and art that they put into that is impressive. So I definitely support the foodies. But I am not a foodie. I'm a real estate agent at heart. I'm a good marketer and I'm good at this process. And I found a way to contribute and give back to my community in the time of need. So in the middle of that pandemic, I built this group to like 20,000 people in like 2 weeks, and it just went nuts from there because I had people participate and add people to it. But then I also went, and you can go look at some of the old videos. I went and interviewed all of the restaurant owners, or a good amount of them, just to promote how they were operating at that time, but also kind of tell their story a little bit about like the people, the mom and pops behind all these local restaurants and cool scenes around the area, just to get it known of how they're staying afloat, who you're supporting, how you can support them. And then as time went on, obviously COVID went away, had this massive group that was still here, needed to do something with it. Then honestly, I was kind of surprised there wasn't really a Facebook group themed around just food and booze, the thing that we can agree on the most, which is food and drink, the things that bring us together. And I think what you've started to find is that Wichita has a lot of pretty cool, culturally significant spots for eating and drinking that we didn't always know about, whether you're from here or not. I think there's a lot of people from Wichita that found some new places. I know like Tacos TJ 664 blew up because of this. And so it's always been designed to be an informational and promotional group. And I'm going to show you this here in a sec, where it says like there are no bad reviews allowed on here. There's no negativity. There's no drama. We're not bashing businesses. We're not bashing customers. Like none of that is allowed on here. It's strictly informational, strictly promotional. I know there's a lot of people trying to tell me how to run the group, how they want to see it. But from the start, it was an informational and promotional site. It was never a review site. You can discuss and talk about things on there, but if it starts to get negative and nasty, that's when that stuff gets taken out. I know you can be mad at me about that. Some people don't like it, but at the end of the day, you got to remember it's a free group that's completely built on charity, concept, community. Like I don't get paid for any of this. I think there's some people who think I do. Facebook does not pay me for this. The restaurants do not pay me for this. I've had individuals approach me about basically sponsoring or paying to get promotion, and I said no. Like as soon as I start doing that, it really muddies the group, defeats kind of the purpose, and there's a conflict of interest there. If like I'm not trying to run a paid food and booze group, it's strictly promotional, informational, free resource for restaurants, for people to get going. Part of that we've seen a lot, which I have two moderators on there. It's me and two moderators that really helped me run the group. They said they want to remain anonymous for a lot of reasons, probably because they don't want to get harassed any more than they already do. Trying to just keep this group of 160,000 people as sane and clean and like working well as much as possible. We can't get to everything, as I'll show you in a second. Like, it had 2.3 million views in the last 28 days. We can't see it all. We can't get to it all. We get to it as fast as we can. And Facebook helps us with some of that stuff. So if something's not showing up, something's not happening, it's a lot of times not even us. We're just trying to keep the group quality from spammers. And one of the big ones is like unlicensed, unverified businesses, because there's a lot of scammers and spammers out there that will mess you up, that we're really just trying to protect from that. So let's go ahead and start sharing the screen, show you the backside of this. This is from the admin level, so you'll see all of it. But there you can see we got 160,000 people in the Wichita Food and Booze group. Gives you kind of an idea of when it started, March 24th, 2020. Changed the name June 9th, 2020. And then the biggest thing about this, here's all the rules. Group rules from the admins. Food service promo only. Keep it specific to food services. This is where booze can kind of get in there also, but don't try to circumvent this, get around it. There's a lot of people are trying to get creative and post things that aren't supposed to be in there. We have a very low tolerance for that because there's just way too many people and things going on to cater to any nonsense. When we know the rules, we know the situation, don't abuse the situation, everybody just get along. Be kind and courteous, keep it positive, no hate speech, bullying, no promotions or spam outside of food services, respect everyone's value. Accuracy not verified, don't hold it against us. We try to be the police of this as much as possible, but again, it's purely a charity concept, purely for community. Just want to see my city do well and my community do well. And then the good reviews only. This is we don't need the extra drama and downers to bash businesses right now to keep this a constructive community building group. Also, same thing with each other. If you guys start getting into fights on comments, we take those down. If anybody starts being nasty towards anyone, we take that down. There's time and place for that. It's not on this group. So that way you know why we structured it that way, so that it's strictly informational, educational, and promotional. It's not here to have a fight in a group of 160,000 people. So there's the rules. Let's go look at the craziness. So if you go to, where to go? The growth spot, this will show you the backside stats of just how much goes on here. So in the last 28 days, there's been 23,000 people posting and commenting. So not only is it a big group with 160,000 people in it, it's a very active group with that many people in it. And I'll show you who some of the top contributors are, what the posts look like, that kind of thing. It's had 2.3 million views, almost 2.4 million views in the last 28 days, which is pretty wild when you think about it from a marketing and advertising standpoint. That's really impressive, and that helps the little guy get going, helps the mom and pops get exposure, helps you discover some places maybe you didn't know about before, and ultimately it keeps our culture of Wichita unique just by helping those businesses stay afloat. Engagement, when it loads, there we go. Last 28 days has been 2,900 posts. You can kind of see where they come up and off and on and whatnot. Most are usually on Saturdays and Wednesdays and later in the day, which this is all pretty in line with most Facebook usage of the demographic, what have you. But this will give you an idea of like the posts and why certain people see your posts and why certain people don't. So there is a sciences algorithm of Facebook. If people like your post, Facebook's going to show it to more people. If they don't, they won't. So this is where you can see like Cindy Smith on January 15th asked for a locally owned mom and pa dinner. Lots of comments, lots of likes, lots of views. This is how many eyeballs they got. So even though people aren't always commenting or liking, you can see how much these posts get different exposure based on how well you're working the algorithm, essentially, which feeds off of likes, comments, engagement, all those things. Or Facebook, if they see that people are interacting with your content, they will show it to more people. If they don't see that, they won't. So that's why your post may not be seen. It might seem like it's taken down, but in all reality, it's really just Facebook doing their thing. It's not us. It's not anyone else. And there's a lot of just things that we have to try to work through to do that. So as you can see, it's a free discussion group for the most part, as long as you're all being promotional and educational and informational and helping things along. Where's some of the other, there's another cool spot I was going to show you. There is a ban center because there are a ton of people who need to be banned because they're scammers, they're spammers, they're not even from here, type of a thing. But Wichita's got the biggest all-star contributor. Kansas Gastronomist is another good one. You know, those are both foodie guys that I think do a pretty good job of promoting, being educational, informational. Wichita EB is another one that's on here. Kind of surprised he's not on here, but I know he gets a good amount of traffic and exposure from it. But that guy does well on his own. Jack Stacks is another good one. Chris is a friend of mine. And then as you can see, the other restaurants and places promoting themselves. And pretty much all this is in the US, 148,000, 86,000 is the Wichita, Kansas, Derby, Kansas, 5,900. You can kind of get into all these nerdy stats. Just depends on how much you really want to dig into and see all this stuff. Some of this stuff's interesting, other stuff's not, but that at least give you kind of an idea of the behind the scenes and whatnot. This shows you how many like participation requests we have to deal with on a regular basis, which is basically people needing approval for what they're trying to do. Cause like for whatever reason, American Family Insurance agents trying to be involved. And we always got to be careful of making sure we're not muddying the group of either fake people coming through or people coming through for purely business promotional reasons to go with that. Same thing with pending approvals, all these things. So some of it's stuff that we do. Some of it is already done by Facebook. So we're doing our best to manage this beast of a group. I think it's a good resource. It's fun, kind of crazy, which is also why it's kind of interesting to watch. There's some of Wichita but EB stuff. So he puts out a lot of good content. You know, he's a true blogger, and the amount of freelance independent writing and media production, everything he does, like, you got it, Eddie, go for it. Like, I'm not trying to do that, no offense. I'm a real estate agent at heart, and going to the level what he does is not something that I am particularly interested in. I just started a group. It went really well. I want to keep it going, but I'm by no means trying to be an Eddie or a Fur or Wichita or any of those guys. I'm not really a foodie. I just like the foodies. I cater to the foodies, and I got a big old group. But anyway, that's Wichita Food and Booze. Hopefully that helps you kind of understand the Wichita food scene, booze scene, this group. It's on Facebook. Go join it. Go add yourself to it, participate in a kind, positive, promotional, educational way. I appreciate you watching as always. If I can do anything to help you out with Wichita, real estate, anything like that, please keep me in mind. Should be plenty of links for my website or ways to get a hold of me, and we'll go from there. I appreciate you watching. See ya.